Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to the Big Blue Offensive Podcast with Mike Trainer, Jay Jules, and John Depot.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the BBO NYG podcast. I'm Mike. That's Jules. That's Vinny. John is missing in action. Maybe he moves because the election. Maybe he left the country like some people did. So maybe he's gone. But man, I didn't think a Giant game could get any worse. And then Sunday morning happened. I got up early, got the eggs, minus the kegs, but watched the game, and I'm just like, oh no. The first pass, Daniel Jones overthrows Neighbors on the sideline. Right there, I knew it was a wrap. I was like, there's no coming back from this. And, I was leaning towards taking the Giants as my survivor pick. Then I'm thinking to myself, what am I, nuts? What if I watch good out of this team the whole year? It just either they just lose bad or they shoot themselves in the foot. And I don't know what the hell they did over in Germany. Like, it was a disaster. And now Jones is probably going to get benched. And here we are.
It was such a shame, too, because license plate guy was like showing like shots of Saturday before the game and how much of a following the New York Giants actually had and a presence that was felt in Munich. Yeah. So it kind of it felt good. You almost forgot for a minute that they were a fucking 2-win team. You were sitting there kind of like, all right, this is kind of cool. We're showing presence in Europe. Like, cool, man. Like, all right, let's make something happen. And honestly, I had the same feeling you did about the sickness. But then after a while, especially when we have the ball, after all the bullshit, it's the fourth quarter, we're down 3,
yep.
All the way down the fucking field. And I'm like, okay, the only thing that can fuck this here is if Daniel Jones throws an interception. Literally going through my head because I'm like, I can't think of any other possibility. Worst case,
right.
tie the fucking game. And what does he do? He literally forces it to the most covered receiver out of everybody running routes in that fucking play. And at that point, I sat back. And plus, don't forget, he throws it a little behind him. It gets tipped. It's like a story. It falls into the guy's hands and shit. All this bullshit. Bro, at that point, I realized, I was like, I'm not even upset anymore. I feel like I'm watching a comedy.
You became
I'm waiting for Will Ferrell to be underneath one of the helmets and fucking Adam Sandler to be running on the sideline as the coach and shit. It's like a comedy to me, bro. Yeah. This whole fucking game, from that moment on, I laughed the rest of the game. The whole game had me cracking up. Even when we were making a comeback, I'm like,
yeah, no, something's gonna happen. Yeah, I didn't see a Tyrone. I didn't have a Tyrone Tracy fumble ended the game in my bingo card. I tell you that. I figured Jones would fuck up again and just throw a stupid pick like he threw off the guy's fucking helmet. Like, why are you throwing off the guy's helmet? It drove me crazy again. I was like, I can't. That guy didn't bet him or pick the survivor pool. I let it go. I'm like, here we are. New season. Next season, we'll talk who we want as quarterback next season. I got an idea. Jules, I think me and you agree. Vin, what was your take on Sunday morning's disaster?
It's getting real difficult to watch on a weekly basis.
And repetitive.
I said, I saw the LPG's stuff, and I went to Cleveland this year. It was one of the 2 wins we had. The Giants fans travel well, and I think Munich did a great job. I think they might have done a better job than London, if you ask me. But they did a good job, and I told you that the game would go back and forth. I figured it was 2 really bad teams. The defense just came out with nothing at all. Let Carolina jump out, and I was like, man, we don't even have the defense going tonight. And I said this, I feel like the offense would be so bad that as the season wore on, it would wear on the defense, and the defense will get tired, be exhausted because they're always in these bad field position and they're on the field 3/4 of the game because we never have possession. And B, they're going to start having quit in them. Quit, tired, and that's, we've already seen it. So it's really sad because I really think this defense has enough pieces on it, like the way it's built. We're obviously gaping holes in our secondary, but I like what we have up front. I really like what we have up front. It's like the one bright spot on this team. I like, I'm not big on Thibodeau. I thought he would have been back by now. They said it was going to be like 4 weeks. Has it been that long? I thought he would have been
like
back.
It's been all season.
Huh?
like tell me the last game he played, like for real. Like where I was like, all right, Tibbs was in that game.
But I remember they were saying like it's going to be 4 weeks, maybe a little bit longer. It's been a while. I like is this dude not trying to play for an option? Like is he not? I don't know. But then again,
would you rush back? Would you rush back to this? You know what I'm saying? Or take your time?
I don't know. Like I think we said it before. Like you saw Dexter Lawrence before the game. These players want to win. As far as I'm concerned, like the tank is not in the locker room. If the tank is happening in the front office, that's one thing. But it's definitely not happening in the locker room. And the Giants are not known to tank, which is a problem I have with them in the past. When
they traded people
and they didn't do it. But the Tracy thing is kind of weird, but he does seem to fumble the ball. He's fumbled the ball a few times already. I agree with Jules. I think we lost to Carolina Panthers. We are the joke of the NFL. I think we are.
I mean, the only saving grace
awful
is Jacksonville might be worse. They really are.
That's crazy.
They hold on. Trevor Lawrence was a last-minute scratch for an undisclosed injury that literally just came out of nowhere. They have an owner who's more interested in trying to buy a yacht than he is on this fucking failing ass team. Like, bro, that's like the only saving grace.
This makes you sleep better at night, Jules.
Just by like an extra week, like an extra week. That's it. All right.
I've been talking to a therapist.
The Jets are pretty bad. The Jets are pretty bad.
They're pretty bad.
So,
Thank God.
Exactly. And that's the point, dude. Like,
thank God for that.
Look around the league, and you could see a team, and that's a great example is the New York Jets, right? They were a quarterback away. And then that quarterback cried so much that he got the head coach fired, and then he was missing an extra receiver because Garrett Wilson, who, by the way, is a top 10 fucking performing wide receiver this season, wasn't enough. So they went out and fucking brought up Devontae Adams, and still nothing. They have Breece Hall, who's a top running back. They're supposed to have one of the top defenses in the league. What the fuck is the point? Like, you know what I'm saying? You got the Cowboys. Dude, Cowboys were in the conversation to be Super Bowl contenders. They have one more win than us.
It's crazy,
Dak's only missed one fucking game.
So what a difference a year makes.
Stop pulling out that as an excuse.
Dallas should never be in the conversation for Super Bowl. They should never, even with Dak, with their regime, with McCarthy, they should never be in that conversation as contenders. Do they have talent? Yeah, but they're
done. They're done now.
Yeah,
they spent all that money at the quarterback, wide receiver. Now the wide receiver wants to put curtains on the windows there because he can't see. Like
I saw that.
It's such a mess in Jerry's world. Like you're gonna give that old man a heart attack.
That's when they'll win.
Rico Dowell's their fucking running back. Rico Dowell is their running back. Like, come on, bro.
I went against him in fantasy. I started laughing at the guy. I'm like, you really starting this fucking guy?
I mean, look, I think I started him a week or two this year. I mean, he is the Cowboys starting running back, right? Like, that used to mean something.
That's stupid. Bell cow. I got the bell cow Rico D Whittle.
I mean, look, but there's two things. There's always positives I want to point out. And number one, this defense is young. That secondary is young. Vinny. There's not one real true veteran in that secondary. These guys are all fucking second-year players. So they might need a little bit more time to gel. And yet, we got another draft coming up in April where we could put in a couple of extra guys and pick players and everything else. So that's a positive.
For the draft, do not draft in the first 3-4 rounds. Don't go near defense.
Why not? If that's our strength, why not?
You probably got to go.
Because we don't.
I'm not saying listen, but what I'm saying is, I'm not saying you take one in the first round. Like, chill with that shit. Obviously, we need a quarterback. Second round, let's see. Okay, maybe. I'm open.
You wouldn't go corner? I would go corner.
No way.
Why not?
Now, listen. If the Giants get like the first or second pick, I'm looking to trade back and get more picks because Jules, I like the guy that you like, Jackson Dart from Ole Miss. I love that quarterback, and if he's going to fall late. He's not going top 10.
He's not getting the hype that some of these other quarterbacks are getting. I don't understand.
They always get the hype. That's Jackson
Dart. But Jackson Dart was a name that's been mentioned for a couple of seasons. It's not like this kid just came out of nowhere.
He's a baller.
He's been mentioned. He's been under the radar for a couple of seasons. He's that type of guy. Look, the comparison I'm trying to draw is not the skill of the player, But the
Johnny
comparison
Manziel.
I'm trying to draw is how they could end up in the draft.
Giant football.
Oh, no, because Menzel
Fucking
was
guy.
fucking. He was hyped.
I bought the hype. I had the jersey. I have a Manziel jersey.
But I'm
Fucking
talking
crazy.
about Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes wasn't hyped in college. You barely knew. You heard him in his senior year, but you barely knew who he was. Josh Allen wasn't super hype coming out of fucking the West Coast teams and shit. You know, like I think that Jackson Dart falls into that category. Whether or not he's going to live up to being those type of players.
Isn't he short? Is he short?
I think he's like 6'1", if I'm not mistaken.
Strong arm.
Strong arm, and like I said, this guy has, and he's been playing in the SEC for 3 years.
Yeah.
He's the only guy that these guys all hype up, right? And I'm talking about fucking Cam Ward and fucking Shador Sanders and all the other fucking hype train and fucking Newbers or whatever the fuck his name is in LSU. All this hype train bullshit. None of these guys have been starters their whole time in college. And you take a guy like Ward, he's on his third fucking team. Sanders only became relevant when his father took over the team. So he's daddy's little fucking boy. He's like Khalid Williams. I saw a video. I don't know what the fuck it was for, but it was like the two of these idiots actually arguing, like in like this like really weird, like sort of tantrum argument between Ward and Sanders at some like clinic that they fucking participated at. A couple, who knows, it was this season or whatever. I mean, bro, it's just, you know what
I like about him though?
Oh.
4 years. 4 years he's been playing football in college.
Right.
That's what I love about him. It wasn't 3, it was actually 4. He was playing a full, legit 4 years of college. I mean, you got guys like Sanders, the hype train. He plays like 1 or 2 years, and then he's going to go right to the NFL, man. I like these guys that stay in college, play. Fuck the injury. If you're going to get injured, you're going to get injured no matter what.
And
play and get the experience.
Dart is 6'2", 225. That's what he's listed at. So I said 6'1".
What about the Alabama quarterback?
Who?
The Alabama.
Milroy. He's annoying. It's hype. Like, I get it that he shows flashes of looking similar to what Lamar Jackson looked like in Louisville when he was in college, but they're different. And I'm like, he's a work in progress. He would have to sit, in my opinion, for him to be successful in the NFL, he's got to sit at least a year or two. At least a year or two. There's no way that kid could come in and be a day one starter in the NFL. He would not be ready. He will fall on his face just like the other ones that got all that kind of hype. He needs work still. He's got a lot of talent. He's got a tremendous amount of talent, but his accuracy, his reading of the field, I believe Daniel Jones gets knocked for not being able to make reads quicker and actually process through everything fast. That kid's he's a work in progress in the same situation. So it's like, if you could put him on a team where you could sit for 2 years, look, if he was still around like late in the first round, depending on what the needs are and how Baltimore finishes the season, you bring that kid in and you let him sit behind Lamar Jackson, in 2 years, that kid will be a fucking stud. Even though I know Lamar is still young as shit and you're probably not thinking about it that way. But like, man, if he sat like 2 or 3 seasons behind Lamar, he could turn into Lamar Jackson. But that's how I feel that he needs to develop. That's why when I'm starting to see all this hype and like all the Sanders hype. I mean, shit, Dion has even gone out in public and basically said that like
way too much, man.
He's like fucking. He's gonna make sure he goes to the right team. He kind of wants to pull like a Manning. He kind of wants to pull like a Manning with Eli and all that kind of shit. But at least that was sort of done under the table and undercover.
Yeah, not a public.
You know what I'm saying?
He wants to be coach. He wants to be head coach,
right?
Sanders wants to be head coach with his son. That's in the NFL. That's what.
Could you imagine they end up in Dallas?
Yeah, probably. Most likely, yeah. Then Dak gets cut and they pay him all that fucking money.
Or they trade
that happening.
Or they trade Dak.
How do you trade that contract?
They pick up some of his money and fucking then they go out and fucking go after Sanders and they bring in Dion. Like, oh my god, dude!
I can see it for sure. No doubt.
I can absolutely see that. I know I'm joking slightly, but this joke has some
it's fixed. To it. Sports are fixed, Jules.
They are definitely fixed. Sports are fixed.
Sports are definitely fixed.
But so look, here's the other thing, right? Like it pains me to tank and want to go after a quarterback and get some of these players. But like at the same time, again, I am not, and look, we still got a month of the season left for college. So some of these guys can kind of change my mind. But I looked at Ward, who's fucking, everybody's talking him up, and he lost to Georgia Tech this fucking Saturday in the big noon game. Bro, he had opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. That defense tightened up in the fourth quarter. They finally stopped that run. Yeah. He had the ball in his hands with 2.5 minutes to go, down 5. And he couldn't get the job done. You know, against Georgia fucking Tech, dude, on the road. Now, I get it. You're going to say, oh, well, that doesn't mean a whole lot and blah, blah, blah. But look, Caleb struggled. He lost to Utah, I think, 3 times in his fucking career. And look at how he looks on Sunday.
You don't look great.
I mean, the guy's getting fucking, he's like showing up already where he's like showing off. The offensive coordinator got fired in Chicago. They're an absolute mess. I mean, they went out and drafted Roma Dunze, who we all liked on this podcast. They brought in fucking Keenan Allen. They had DJ Moore that they traded for a couple of years ago. They brought in DeAndre Swift. I mean, this offense was self-made, ready to fucking roll. That anybody could have got the keys and fucking took over and drove the shit down the racetracks. But that's what I'm trying to say.
I don't like what the Bears did.
But that's what I'm trying to say. Like you know what, Vic?
That's why you don't tank, though.
Careful with wanting. You know what they say? That you know the saying. Careful what you wish for. So careful wishing for the Giants to tank and getting it fucking wrong. And then what are they all going to do? Oh, Shane shouldn't be here. Dable should be. They're going to start crying. Bro, I looked at our past coaching history, right? You look at Pat Schumer. I think he is the offensive. Oh, matter of fact, this is actually perfect because he's the offensive coordinator for Deion Sanders out in Colorado. That's what Sherman is currently, right?
Is he really?
Yeah, he's the OC out in Colorado right now. So, I mean, look, maybe, and he's actually at the most prominent, like the highest position of any of them. Joe Judge is like an offensive, like assistant something or in the office in New England. And fucking, what you would call it, what's his name? McAdoo is another like assistant something fucking, whatever, like some bullshit thing. That like they're like offensive this that
you go to the Giants and get your career killed.
Yeah, I mean kind of.
You want to go? Right? You want to go to die? Go to the Giants.
Either that, or they were just that bad of hires. You know what I mean? So I don't know what it is. Like maybe right? Like
probably.
It's not like any of these guys have left and actually had success. You know what I mean? Like it's not like we're losing these guys down. It's like it was an opportunity to miss. It just might have been a misfire. And I'm really hoping to God that that's not the case again.
I want everybody gone, Jules. I want Belichick to be president and I want Ben Johnson to be coach.
President. I said that Belichick could come in and do what Tom and play a role similar to what like Coughlin did in Jacksonville and what Marcellus did at the end of his career, I think in Dallas.
Be a president.
Yeah, right. Where like he comes in and he has his say and he gets the right people in there. That means a lot. You know, the right personnel, the right.
Get it back to Giants old school football, man, for Christ's sake. I'm sick of this shit.
I hear you. I hear you. Like I said, it's just there's still a lot of time left, and I get it. There are certain people out there that are putting out these mock drafts and doing all shit just to get their mind and off of this nonsense and this disaster of a season and give them some kind of hope, which is okay, and I understand it. But it's also it's not realistic at this point. It's not even fucking close because every single year, there's going to be a quarterback that comes out of nowhere. There's going to be another 2 players that no one's been talking about all of a sudden jump in the top 10. There's going to be teams that want to trade up. There's going to be teams that finish differently. I mean, shit, the Giants still have a few games that are winnable on the fucking thing. We play the Colts. We play the Saints. We play Dallas. You know, Dallas is like they're a beatable team now. I'm not saying we're going to beat them, but we lost by 5 on fucking Thursday night.
Back on Thanksgiving. We ain't winning that game on Thanksgiving.
Why though? Why?
Because we're a joke. We lost to Carolina.
Cooper Rush, really?
2 days ago?
Jules, you watched the game, right?
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say
have you been watching the Giants? We ain't winning another game. Even with Drew Lock or anybody else. Look at this.
That's what everybody thinks. But like I'm telling you right now, this and here's the other thing too. Everyone's saying, oh, bench Jones, I'm sick of it. Blah. Okay, you bench Jones. Now you have to put in now you got to put in one of these other backups, right?
Lock has to be Lock.
Those guys are going to play for a job. You understand? You're a backup for a reason. So if you showcase your skills, you may get a job somewhere else. So those guys are going to come in. They're going to try to fucking win games. They're not going to shit the bed. They're not going to tank. If you want to tank, you have to stay with Daniel Jones the rest of this season. Like, let's be fucking real here, okay? And I guarantee you he's going to have a game or 2 that he fucking wins. The Giants are not finishing the season with 2 wins. I guarantee you. I see 4 or 5. I see 4 or 5 on this season.
I agree.
I'm telling you right now, it's going to be hilarious because when we come to that Thanksgiving game, I honestly think that will be for last place. And that's going to mean something. We always end up in that situation, and the Giants usually come out ahead.
I don't know. I don't think.
Listen, again, it's just the way to look at things. Look, like I said, plus
if
you tank, you know what? You look at like what the 49ers did. They traded up, got Trey Lance. They gave away all this shit. They got lucky. And then they end up starting Brock Purdy. You know, you have the Jets recycling quarterbacks for the last fucking 3 years. And no matter what they do or who they put there, they still suck. They still fucking suck. They're going to be picking in the top 10 as of now, too.
They got to move.
I mean,
they got to get out of our stadium.
I like that. I like that, Trainer.
Yeah, I do too.
Find your own place.
I think it's time.
Go play in
They honestly, you know, with all the development that's going on in Queens over by City Field and what they're doing there now, you know, and obviously that the U.S. Open is there for tennis and everything else. They're putting a soccer team there. They're actually going to put another city soccer team
in 2 weeks
for MLS there. That's going to be there. They're building like hotels. There was rumors of like casino possibly and all this other shit. Yo, that'd be a great place to go play. The Jets used to play there. You know what I mean? Like my dad would tell me stories that Joe Namath hated it because, you know, they would have the LaGuardia Airport flew directly over Shea Stadium. And like that when he was calling plays, there'd be fucking planes flying into land and like it would mess up the play call.
Oh, yeah.
So that was part of the reasons why I don't know how true that is, but that was the story I used to hear growing up all the time.
Makes sense. Yeah.
And that was part of the reason why they wanted to get out of there. They're on a 5-year lease each year. They only sign 5-year leases at the Meadowlands to stay at fucking MetLife. It's not like the Giants. That's why the Giants have their practice facility out there and the Jets don't. You ever wonder why? It's partially because of that. So literally, like I think their lease is up in 2026 or something like that. They don't have to renew. They'll have a built soccer stadium in Queens. Go get your own fucking identity, man.
They're our JV. They're our JV team. We're the varsity. We always have been. And they're our little, like, you know, the little guys that play the game after us, where everybody's excited. They make like a layup and shit, you know?
They scored a touchdown.
Yay, you did it. Here's your participation ribbon. It knows what I'm talking about. So, all right. So we got a bye next week. Thank God. You know, maybe we can like
pick the Giants next week. Pick them next week.
You know.
Oh, one quick point there. One quick point there with the bye week because it kind of like stands out because what our record could be. And what I wanted to say is that I realized that the Giants are 1-5 this season in 1-score games. 1-5, bro. If they fucking would just fucking batting 500 in that, they would be fucking almost a 500 team.
It's crazy, right?
It's insane. So, like, bro, like you got to look at the team and say, yes, it looks disastrous. Looks like it's going nowhere. It looks like this. But even on that interception, I was screaming to all of you guys, texting the shit out of you on Sunday morning, that Jones threw it to the only receiver covered. I think, Mike, you mentioned that fucking you saw Neighbors open. I 100% saw the tight end open. Like, he had guys slitting. He just doesn't read the field quick enough. And I looked at some old footage of people like sort of saying that was a bad pick from the Giants, you know, back when we drafted him and shit like that. And you know, there was people coming out and saying that, you know, he doesn't scan the field well. He's a tough kid. He gets along with everybody on his team. He runs well, you know, all the good things about him. And then they were like, you know, he really will end up being is most likely a backup in the NFL, which I've been saying for the last fucking season. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what Daniel Jones is. He's a backup. He would be a strong backup in the NFL, but his days starting in New York need to be over. Enough is enough.
You think he's done, right?
I mean,
Ben.
He might finish out the season. And again,
I don't know. I think he's getting benched. He probably gets benched because of that injury clause.
But like, yeah, but I don't think. All right, so can you explain that injury clause to me? Because I'm still not understanding that.
So basically, if he gets hurt from now until the end of the year, because it's past the deadline, that injury and his contract for next year would be fully guaranteed, the whole $23 million. Where remember, after 2 years they could cut him.
Yeah, I thought we started paying him like $20 million.
But that's part of the injury.
We're really splitting hairs over $5 million at this point. You know what I'm saying?
That's what it is. The whole thing gets guaranteed. Meanwhile, they could cut him, and barely nothing is guaranteed, and a lot don't go against our salary cap. So a lot of money could go against our salary cap next year if he does get injured, and you know.
Well, this is the same thing.
What's the odds of that?
This is the same thing Denver did to Russell Wilson next year.
Yeah,
they benched him last year because they didn't want to pay him.
Yeah, and you know, so he's getting cut. Like this, if he gets benched, then you know Daniel Jones is getting cut. He probably knows already. The way he played the other day, it looks like he didn't even want to be here.
The way he played in Munich, he looked lost. There was even on that flea flicker.
Oh my God. I mean, I'm like, throw the ball, dude.
Open. Like,
I'm like, just chuck it.
Everybody was open.
But Vin, you always knock Neighbors. Neighbors actually said something pretty fucking maturely after that when questioned about that play.
What he said?
I'm going to paraphrase, obviously.
He said the stadium needs curtains.
He goes, He basically said that, like, just because we might have been open and we knew we were open, it doesn't mean that he had the ability to see us open because we can't see what he's seeing. In other words, saying that, like, if there was guys in his face and he couldn't look down the field and he was under pressure, he might not have had a chance to see us.
That was nice of him to say.
That's what happens. Bro, it was very mature to hear neighbors say that shit. That's all.
But, his parents should have told him never to lie. So, like, I don't know what's going on here.
I wanted to mention to you guys, I don't know if you saw it.
He also started to make sure he got home from Germany and back into the country. So,
Yeah, with that other concussion yet.
Joe Shane had a press conference today.
Yep.
First thing I don't understand is, why are you holding a press conference in the middle of the season? I don't like it. I'm not one of these fans that needs answers. You could hold your press conference at the end of the season.
But don't they usually do stuff like that because it's
the Giants do stuff like that?
No, but like I think other teams do it too because you're coming up on a bye week. So there's like all the media and all the sources and all the beat writers, they got nothing to cover for a week.
Well, I'm sure Mara was like, he told Shane, get out there, hold the press conference, get these savages off. Let's answer some questions and cool people down.
Exactly.
And Shane said some interesting things. I don't know where I'm at with Shane and Dable. I really don't. Because I root for them. I'm not all out on them, trainer, but this is a results business, and the results have not been good. So I'm kind of 50-50. I'm kind of, for somebody that cares so much what this organization does decision-making wise from the top down, I'm kind of indifferent about it right now. Like, if they keep them for another year, I guess I'll be okay with it. If they let them go, I guess I'll be okay with it. I'm really like, I always have friends ask me like, oh, what do you think they're going to do? Should they fire him? Should they do? I don't know. I want to see how the rest of the season is going to play out. I do know for damn sure Daniel Jones is done as a Giant. I'm over that. Like, and do they get another shot with a quarterback? They might be afforded that. How long will the leash be there? I don't know. Will this team quit on Dable? I don't know. Dable's made a lot of those one-score games is on Dable's play calling. Dable's made questionable decisions. The thing with Kafka we've talked about, ad nauseum here. Dable's got a lot of marks against him. But again, 3 years at a job, is not very long. And I know there's guys out there that turn it around so quick. And these guys had a great head start. But that head start kind of really hampered them long term because then they got into bed with Jones. They didn't want him. They didn't even pick up his option. That's why we were on the hook, and Jones made them pay, which deservingly so. I just think, I don't know, Shane answering the media. I just wanted your thoughts on what do you guys think about Shane saying certain things, but where he likes where the team was. He said exactly what you just said before, Jules. That we are 1-5 in a lot of these one-score games. We're right there. Yeah, maybe, but we're on a 5-game losing streak right now, and we look like a disaster. Yeah. And we just lost to the Panthers. Are we counting a one-score game against the Panthers in Munich? Because if you give it context, if you give it context, we should not be in a one-score game with the Carolina Panthers. We should be better than them. Or come on, you got to give it a little bit of context.
Yeah, you know what? We don't even go to overtime if Jones doesn't fucking dude. It killed me because you forced that pass to the fucking running back out the flat, and you had two guys wide open. You were in a position where you could have just threw the ball out of bounds, nothing would have happened. B, you were in close enough territory that you could have taken a sack and still been in field goal range. It wasn't even one of those ones where you were pushing, and if you got sacked, all of a sudden you were 40 yards, and now it's a 50-yard field goal. No, that shit would have been maybe a 38, 39-yard field goal with Gano back. So, dude, he just, his decision-making at times is so questionable. He's so inconsistent. The offensive line has been inconsistent at times. Yes, some of it's due to injury, and yes, maybe some of it's due to fucking Daniel Jones and his reads and not reading the field properly. So, you know what? Like I said before, and I've been saying for over a year now, he would make a very good backup quarterback. If you could tell me Daniel Jones gave his contract back and then we re-signed him at maybe $3 or $4 million a year and then went out and drafted a quarterback, I would be okay with it. I would be okay with him staying.
Me too.
You know what I'm trying to say? If he was somehow able to restructure it to that extent, which of course he can't, But like if he could and we could get him for like $4 or $5 million and kept him on this team and then brought in some young kid, I would be absolutely all right with that. But the fact that we have to pay him 25, it don't make sense.
No,
you know what I mean? And that's sort of the bottom line there. As far as what Shane was saying, what do you want him to say?
He's got to stay positive.
Well, why had the press conference?
But only that.
Because he had a gun to his head. It's like, say this, partner.
Kind of. But like, there's 7 games left in the season.
What it seemed like.
There's 7 games left in the season.
In the first place?
We still would then have the NFL playoffs, then the Super Bowl, and then all the fucking, spring bullshit in between, rather, and then the draft. We've been praising Shane for years now, for the last couple of years, about how he is so deceitful in who he actually wants to go after in the draft and how he's able to pull off these trades and get guys to fall to him and get the guys that we always thought were a good fit. So why is he going to show his cards 7 fucking games left in the regular season? He's not going to say shit. Like, I didn't expect him to say anything. It goes back to what your point was earlier. It was like, why is he even holding a press conference? Right? It was just to please the fucking audience and more so, not so much the fans, but I'm telling you, it's more so to please the fucking media. What else?
Yeah. Give him sound bites.
Back the fuck
Joe
up.
Shane said this. Joe Shane said that.
Correct.
It's to please the media, bro. No question.
That's all it was. That's all this shit is. It drives me
nuts. It's a fucking show.
That was all for show. That's all that shit was. And you know what? Good. If that takes the tension off of the New York Giants and some of this New York fucking media can focus on the Jets, because to me, that's a bigger story. You know what I mean? Like how are they not like all over that shit? It drives me nuts. And you know what? Like they can go into their bye week and be peaceful. The only thing I hope for in this bye week, I was going to save this for the close, but like I'll use it now, is that fucking, I just hope that none of our players do anything stupid. We don't need any more fucking ATV accidents or firework accidents or fucking something stupid, bro. Enjoy your week. If you need to get away from New York, go ahead. But take it fucking easy, bro.
That sounds like it's directed towards Malik neighbors. That sounds like it's directed towards Malik
I didn't expect a kitty to be in a fucking ATV accident. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, that's funny.
But yeah, man. So I don't know. I think we're done here. Are we ready for the pick segment?
One last question. Question. Do you think in the last 10 years the Giants have hit rock bottom, or we've seen worse?
Rock bottom was when they were 3rd down and they quarterback sneaked on their like 8-yard line.
Good
like
one.
I agree.
Good one.
I don't know if I ever seen anything worse than that. Bro.
I don't know if
that's a good one.
I don't know if they thought they were like going the opposite way. Like, but I mean, you have 100 more yards to go, guys, and your quarterback sneaking. And that was the craziest shit. Yeah. I would have fired the coach right there during the game. I would have been like, all right, you gotta go. This is crazy. This is something you actually
at least as an owner, I would have fucking like publicly went down on the field and fucking like got in his face. You know what I'm trying to say? But like, what the fuck are you doing, bro?
Like, I'll take over. Like,
I'd rather take the safety. Like,
give me the headset. Let me fucking coach the rest of this.
That's a good one. That's a good
one.
Yeah, that you nailed it there, Mike.
The next drive, he should have just got 1st down and just punted right away. Like, oh my god, he punted. Yeah, well, just part of the game plan. Want to play field position.
Yeah, let's just take it from us.
It's fucking crazy. Yeah, so that was my rock bottom as a Giant fan.
I agree with you 100%. Dude.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. All right. Well, it's pick time since we're talking about a lot of these games. All right, here we go. Thursday night.
Wow, we just diving right in. Let's go. First of all, we probably didn't do that great last week, right? Because
we were on fire, man.
Absolutely
on fire.
Because I'm back, baby.
I was on fire.
Baby, you kind of bring that balance, right?
If you bet like the first 10 games, we hit 9 out of 10. It was crazy.
Wow.
Like I was on fire. I was betting I was on fire, making money all weekend. It was fantastic. So listen to us when you're betting.
All right, well there we go. With that intro.
But don't lose all your money. All right. Bet whatever you can afford to lose. That's my advice. All right. First game in Philadelphia. They're -3.5 against Washington. Yo, Washington. They're a tough little fucking team because I had Pittsburgh on the money line last week and I was sweating that shit out.
You sweating that one out.
Oh my god! I was like, I hate.
But first of all, you know what? Like, listen, they're an extremely well coached team. The fuck were they doing faking a fucking punt? I mean, fucking on their 30-yard line and shit.
I thought it was fixed, Jules. I thought it was fixed right there. I was like,
begging to lose that game. Like, you want to talk about the NFL being fixed? There it fucking is.
He was wide open.
I'm calling you out, bro. I give you praise all the time. I think you're one of the best coaches in the NFL. A fuck bonehead kind of call was that, dude?
But Pittsburgh got
were
that great.
winning.
They got great like special teams. That special teams coach is a fucking animal. And I tell you, if he caught that ball, which was right in his hands, he's gone. That's a touchdown right there. They should have been up 14-0. When he dropped it, I couldn't believe it. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
You're up 7-0. You dominated that first drive. You
I
had
know,
a score
I
on the
know.
second drive. You punt the fucking football,
But they
man.
probably
Unless
practiced that
you're
all
on
week.
their 40-yard line or something. You know
They
what I'm
had to
saying?
practice that, Jules, all week. And they were just like, oh my, everybody was like,
Well, I can't-
everybody throw their hands up on the head like, oh my God, you did this all week in practice.
I think they were on their 22-yard line or something. So like they won.
Nobody was expecting it.
You gave them the confidence to stay in that fucking game. There was another miscommunication that they got down the field. There was a fucking fluke play. Like, dude, listen, are a lot of things breaking for Washington currently? Yes.
They really are.
100%.
They really are.
And you know what? You can almost argue and say that when the Giants and Joe Shane and Dable had their first season, we had a lot of breaks that went our fucking way. You know what I'm saying? The Lamar Jackson fumble, goal for 2 against Tennessee. You know, there was a few things that just broke our way, and that's what's happening here. I think they have the potential to be an up-and-coming team. If they stay on this path, they're probably going to start really competing for the fucking division. But I think Philly sets the record straight. They've been getting hot. They're starting to heat up. And 3.5 points in fucking Philadelphia?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here, bro. Stop that. Yo, you fucking send that shit home, man. Fuck this fucking watch. I hope they hype that shit up more so when Thursday actually comes, that fucking spread goes down and you can fucking take them under 3 points.
Well, listen, short week, home team, you always got to bet them. So, yeah, I'm going with Philly, too.
Yeah, I'm going Philly all day. I agree with everything Jules said. I think Washington's cute. They got a nice thing going. Everything's breaking their way. I think it will be a little bit closer than you think. Because
I said give me under 3.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, I was like, I hope they get hyped up and this shit goes to like 2.5. Because then I will fire all day on that.
But I agree. I think Philly is far superior of a team. Like they're just way better. As much as
you don't think Barkley's thirsty for that game?
Dude, honestly though, I'd rather Washington win. I hate Philly with a passion. I
hear you there.
I know.
hate them, man. But I think it's hard to pick against them. They're so good.
And they're at home. If this game was in Washington,
I agree.
Maybe it sways me differently.
Yep.
Yeah.
All depends on the home team. All right, next game, Sunday's game. Rams, big disappointment on Monday night. I needed them to beat Miami to hit the nice parlay, but they didn't do it. They actually come out as 4.5-point favorites up in New England. Rams, I think they bounce back because New England has no defense. How do they stop like Cooper Kupp, Puka, Kyrie Williams? I think Rams bounce back in a big way. I take the Rams all day.
Yeah, the Rams, man, fuck that game, man. I'm really pissed with that shit. Like I went into fantasy football where a guy had fucking Lamar Jackson and fucking Chase to start on Thursday night. He had like 91 points on Thursday night to my 0. Like, bro, he had like 6 guys still left to play. I was like, bro, I got no fucking shot. Instead, I make this fucking insane comeback where I'm down fucking 19 points to him with Jalen Waddle left. And I'm like, Waddle hasn't done much. I don't know. So I do a little prop bet. I said, you know what? Let me see what Waddle going over 75 yards and Nakua going over 75 yards. If I parlay that together, it's going to get into return. I was getting like 8-1 on that. So I was like, all right, that's a fucking sick and manageable one. So I put the game on and fucking on the opening drive, Jalen Waddle goes 2 for fucking 55. I need 20 yards out of this motherfucker the rest of the game, bro. All I need is like another 40 fucking 5 yards and a touchdown, and I probably fucking win in fantasy too after being down 91. And what happens? He ends at 3 for 57. He didn't catch another pass in the fucking fourth quarter. Are you fucking kidding me? And Nakua fucking, of course, he covered fucking 75 fucking easily. I can't. So for this particular game, I don't even want to pick because I'm like, fuck the Rams. I don't even want to look at this team this week. Fucking go New England and just beat the Bears who fucking knocked me out of the goddamn survival pool. You motherfuckers better beat the Rams.
Oh, you had the Bears?
Yeah, I don't know why I changed my mind with that dumb shit. Bears can't lose 3 in a row with Khalid Williams, most fucking overrated rookie in my fucking life. Fucking kid's a fucking bust. Fuck out of here. Him and Bryce Young go jerk each other off. They look like they're fucking butt buddies. You can edit that last part out.
I'll keep it. Ben, you like the Rams?
Yeah, Rams all day. I think the Rams have to bounce back here. The Rams are still well coached. I don't like that they're coming to the East Coast and New England can put certain point. It's a 1 o'clock game too, so it's a little earlier for them. But the Rams are again more talent on the table. The New England just should not be able to compete here in this game. It should be easy for the Rams. Should be.
It should
I mean,
be.
you would think McVay's got something up his sleeves to come in there. They can go to 500. They'll be 5-5 with a win against a New England team that's kind of beating teams that they should beat and then lost to the other teams.
I think that's why the Rams spread is only -4.5. I think that's why it's a little low because it's away. 1 o'clock game, all that bullshit. So
going across the country and it's a 1 o'clock.
And
That's the only thing that kind of like makes me think about it. But
if you bet them, take them on the money line. They're not going to lose. They're not going to lose.
I will go.
Unless Jules takes them in the Survivor Pool. Then
I'm done already, so it doesn't matter.
So all right, moving on. Oh, Miami. They're in Miami. They're -7.5 against Vegas. I want to take Miami all day to blow them out, but Vegas for some reason they show up and just beat like a Ravens team out of nowhere. They'll beat a Cleveland.
That's how they are.
Team,
You're
and
right.
It's just like I can't take Miami laying all those points, even though they should blow them out. I just can't do it, man. So give me the Raiders getting 7.5.
I guess if I look at things in a weird way, because I try to at times, just because the Raiders do seem like they're this every other week type of team. And what I mean by that is they beat the Browns, but then they lose. They get crushed by the Broncos. They fucking get crushed by the Steelers, but then they lose to the Rams by 5. They lose to the Chiefs by 7, but then they get crushed by the Bengals. You don't know what the fuck they're gonna do. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to determine. I guess you could say that this is another one of those West Coast teams coming across for a 1 o'clock game in the Florida Miami Heat. Look, the Dolphins can backdoor their way into this. If that defense plays like it did against the Rams, they should fucking handle the Raiders. They really should. I mean, Kid Anthony, Ed Shea, whatever the fuck you say his name is, Hill's complaining about his wrist and that his fucking wrist got hurt even more when he got arrested. And now like there's a partially torn ligament in his fucking wrist. That's why he hasn't been 100%. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to determine it, but like if they play like they did on Monday, they will definitely cover this game.
I think the Dolphins will definitely show up. I think they're trending in the right direction to get into the wild card hunt. They might be in there already. But I agree with everything Trainer said. I think the Raider team is Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Like we can't figure them out. Do they show up? Do they keep things close? So I agree with Trainer. I think Miami will win, but the Raiders will keep this under 7.5.
Yeah, I think it's closer than a lot of people think. All right, moving on. Ooh, Green Bay. They're -6.5 in Chicago. Give me Packers all day. Never bet the Bears. Even though they're at home, they got a good defense, but it's still Green Bay. They're a better team.
I mean,
Jordan Love is healthier. So.
And they're coming off of a bye. Yeah, I mean, Green Bay, like on paper and everything you read, Green Bay should go in there and smack the fucking piss out of them. But watch these fucking pieces of shit win this week, bro. Because they lost 3 straight now. Their OC got fired. Their head coach is on fucking about to get fired. There's rumors circulating that the team wanted fucking Williams benched for a game because he could sit back and then kind of do like a Bryce Young type thing. You know what? Like, fuck the Bears. Fuck them. I'm too jaded on this one because I hope they lose every fucking game the rest of the year.
On a side note, I think this idea of starting these rookie quarterbacks, benching them for a game or two, I think is a wrong approach to take with these kids. I think it kills their confidence. I don't think it's the right move. I say you bench them, and then when you finally let them start, you're committed to them. They got to work through the adversity. That would just be me as a coach. I would like give them at least almost a full season with the clipboard. And then once you go with them, you stick with them. None of this, we got a 3-game losing streak. Yo, you're Caleb Williams. I've heard about this name for the past 3 years in USC. And now we're talking about benching the guy for a game because they did it with Bryce Young, and it seems to have worked a little bit short term for Carolina. So I don't know. I think that's the wrong move. I think benching these guys for a game or two is just not that. Trainers like, just make your damn pick already. What's the points again? I'm sorry.
6.5 if you're paying.
Yeah, I think the Bears will keep this close. I think they keep it under 6.5. I think Green Bay will win. Green Bay will win with like a field goal. I'm not as high on Green Bay as everybody else is. Green Bay's a nice team. They got a nice quarterback who likes to get hurt a lot. Yeah, I said it. He likes to get hurt a lot.
He does.
He's always out every 2 seconds. I got this douchebag on my fantasy team, and he's
because I think he got rushed back. That's why.
But it's like, what the fuck? Yeah. But I don't know. I like Green Bay. I think a lot of people want to buy into them, but
what's not to like? Their defense could be a little bit better. They don't really have a premier pass rusher. So
they never did. Other than Reggie White.
That's what they're missing. That's kind of what they're missing.
Reggie White was their guy.
They'll probably go after something like that in the draft. But outside of that, like, what's not to like? You don't like Jalen Reed or Romeo Dobbs or fucking Christian Watkins, Josh Jacobs. They got Tucker Kraft. I mean, they got a nice offense.
They're likable, but do you think they're beating Philly, Detroit, San Francisco?
I think they could give Philly a game. I don't know if they beat Detroit. They don't have the defense to beat Detroit right now.
I don't think they beat any of those teams I just mentioned.
San Francisco depends where they play.
Yeah, San Fran is like...
San Fran, it depends where they play. If they play in Green Bay...
you guys are tripping. San Fran's going to be that team.
We'll see. Why? Just because CMC's back don't mean shit.
It means a lot. I think they're getting healthy. They know what they're doing. They don't
look right, though.
Yeah, something still looks awful.
This is them every year. Every year, this is what they do.
No, there's been years where they win the West.
Yeah, easily. I thought they were going to. I thought they're going to start like 10-0.
Arizona's making a play for the West right now.
They
got a game on them.
I think San Fran, they'll be out there with Philly and Detroit. Like that's the class of the NFC.
Dude, Arizona. They did to Dallas last year. They smacked the piss out of them, all right, in Dallas.
And they ran.
Like, come on, bro. That means something. You know what I mean?
I like them. I want to like them, but I don't know if they're
I'm telling you right now, Love's been playing hurt, and that's kind of what it is.
He had a bye week to get healthy.
1 games with fucking Malik Willis at quarterback. Come on, yo.
I know.
Any team that can win with Malik is fucking. Yeah, Malik Willis means fucking. They're a pretty good fucking team.
Yeah, they got an all-around better team, but it is a division game.
They are good, but I don't think they're the elite of the NFC. People got them like higher than I think they are.
So we'll see what they do against Minnesota. Like, look, there's still a lot of game left here. Like, that's another team that's kind of just getting swept under the rug because you didn't even.
They're gonna struggle with the
Bears. The 49ers, Minnesota. All right,
they're gonna struggle with the Bears. Watch, Green Bay's gonna have some trouble.
It all depends. After Thanksgiving, you start getting a hot team. Going towards the end of the year, you never know.
The Niners.
Look
out for the Niners.
Yeah, I mean, Niners, I don't know. They got Debo, slapping the shit out of, the long snapper and the kicker. He took out the long snapper and the kicker in one shot. He's like, you guys suck. And it just
his name is Debo.
Debo. He robbed their bike afterwards. He took their bikes home.
He got red bike.
What a lunatic. All right, so we all like Green Bay. That's what we're saying here. All right, moving on. So you guys decide who you like, Green Bay or Chicago. I like Green Bay, but maybe Vin's right. Maybe they do keep it close. It's a game I would tease down if I'm betting. I would take Green Bay to tease with somebody else, but that's just me. So take that as you will. All right, moving on. Detroit, speaking of the hot team, they're back home in Detroit. They're minus 12.5 against Jacksonville.
Smash it. Smash.
They won the game on Sunday night. Lions won the game when fucking Goff threw like 8 interceptions. I still can't believe it.
Yeah,
I can't fathom that. He threw 8 picks. I'm like, get this. I wanted him bench. I was like, people wanted Daniel Jones bench. Bench this fucking clown. I had the Lions to win the game, just to win. Thank God they came storming back. But God, 8 picks was ridiculous. But give me the Lions. They're gonna kill Jacksonville. Yeah. Jacksonville has
with ease, bro. I don't even question that shit. I'm not even fucking.
That line is huge. 12
straight up.
They went by 30.
Is that
they went by 30?
Is that the biggest line of the year?
It might be.
It might be. It's definitely.
I don't remember
Yeah, I
any
don't
big
remember that
spreads.
many of that big of a spread, but yeah.
Are they in Detroit?
And that's why I was saving everything for, because I didn't take Detroit. This was going to be my survivor pick for this week at home. I
You
had it
wanted
circled. I
you
was like, I
wanted
get
to
to
wait.
fucking week 11. Hell yeah.
Something about Jacksonville. I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
It's not even in Florida, dude. It's not
I
even in
don't
Florida.
know.
Mac Jones is playing. Mac Jones.
Didn't? Oh, it's already confirmed.
Trevor
I mean,
Lawrence ain't coming back this year. I think he's going to be shelved for the year. I think he's going to get
What's it called? Wasn't it the Jaguars that beat the Bills like 9-0 or something?
9-6 in Jacksonville.
9-6.
It was 9-6 in Jacksonville, and it was 95 degrees out.
All right. You pulled my arm. I'll take Detroit.
All right, we all love the Lions,
dude. I think like Montgomery and Goff and fucking Gibbs aren't even gonna, and St. Brown ain't even gonna play the second half.
We're turning this into the BBL Lions podcast, by the way, for the rest of the year. We should just do that for fun. We should just come out with a random team that we're going to root for and just have a podcast.
We'll just pick a name out of a hat. We'll throw like 7 names in a hat and we'll pick it out. We'll see which one we got.
I hope it's Buffalo. I would love to talk the whole thing about Buffalo. I'm rooting for them to come win it all. All right, moving on.
Buffalo, listen. Yeah, I saw it because you brought it up. This is the only reason why I'm going to make a quick comment. Is they show Buffalo and the Chiefs on fucking like Twitter X or whatever fucking is being like the matchup everyone wants. I go, that's what the NFL wants. In all honesty, every true fan, if they could just forget their team that they root for, the 2 franchises that you would love to fucking see in the Super Bowl at this point in the season would be the Bills versus the Lions.
Oh, yeah.
That would be fucking dope. All right. Like you have 2 fucking franchises, one that's never even been to a Super Bowl, the other one who lost 3 fucking or lost every Super Bowl they've been in, fucking 3 straight and all that kind of nonsense.
4.
Like, dude, that shit 4 straight, sorry. That would just fucking be insane. That would be the fucking Super Bowl everybody would want to see. But of course, we won't have it. I wear my tinfoil hat when we get into December and January. We already know what's going to happen because the NFL sucks and sports are fixed.
Yep. All right, moving on. In New Orleans, it's a pick. They're going against Cleveland. I don't know. I just don't know. So, whatever.
Home team, New Orleans.
Home team?
Home team, New Orleans.
Yeah, I'll go. I agree. I'll go Saints.
All right, let's not waste
that's
our
an
breath on
ugly
that.
ass game. I can just beat Atlanta, so back-to-back wins maybe for the Saints.
All right, maybe. Moving on. Let's not waste our breath.
Yeah, that please.
Minnesota, they've come down a notch now with Sam Darnold at quarterback. I think the league is
down a notch. It's 7-2.
So it's like, I know, but they're still 7-2. They still win games, but they did play Jacksonville last week. It was the garbage game. I was rooting for Jacksonville to win because that would have knocked a lot of people out to the Survivor Bowl. But anyway, Minnesota's -6.5 in Tennessee. Tennessee, they got that weird team. They play defense. They got robbed of a call where they should have been a pick 6 against the Chargers. Completely turned around that game last week. Give me Tennessee in a close game against Minnesota.
Away. Like one of our major themes were for the fucking season is get right game. This has to be a get right game for Minnesota, man. They absolutely fucking need to go and beat fucking Tennessee and reestablish themselves in the NFC as actual contenders, and they should get it done against them. Should get it done.
I agree. I for a minute there you were convincing me, trainer, about maybe Tennessee keeps it close, but because they played so well last week, they're going to play like shit this week. I think Minnesota will rout them. 2 touchdowns, easy game. Nobody will watch. Is it a 4:00 game?
1.
No, it's 1 o'clock. It's definitely a game that will be buried on your red zone. Nobody will watch. Minnesota will win easy.
All right. Here we go. Next game, Baltimore. They're -3.5 in Pittsburgh. Game of the week, 1 o'clock game.
This is the game of the week, man. Wow. This is.
Give me the home team getting points. I pretty much always take it.
You know what? I kind of agree with you there. Home team getting points. Yeah, like fucking Cincinnati going for the win. Baltimore's had a couple of breaks their fucking way too this year. We'll really see if Russell and fucking Pittsburgh really dialing something up. But you're right. In this big of a rivalry with all this on the line, first place, division game, all this shit. Man, give me the points because if I get that extra half, I can see this coming down to a field goal.
I agree. I think it'll be close, but give me Baltimore all day long. Are you kidding me? The the one thing that Pittsburgh's had going for them is Tomlin. Tomlin's done a great job with this group. The defense we all knew coming into the season was good, but to kind of resurrect Russell Wilson, where Sean Payton, who's a quarterback whisperer, couldn't make it happen, he's getting a lot of good football, efficient football out of Wilson, and that's great. With all that said, Harbaugh is a better coach than Mike Tomlin to me.
Wow.
100%. 100%.
Big
100%. Gamesmanship. Harbaugh's gonna go in there and it's gonna be a coach's duel. And I think Harbaugh is going to do work and Baltimore wins this game.
Wow. If anything, I would call them even. Right? If you want
very
to
close.
like really
very
break
close.
it down, I would say they're even. Defensively, Pittsburgh's better. Offensively, if you break it down, you say Lamar Jackson is definitely better than Russell Wilson, at least at this point in their careers. On the outside, I think fucking George Pickens and fucking even Mike Williams are better, in my opinion, than fucking Zay Flowers and who did they bring in recently? Didn't they bring in some Deontay Johnson? I think they brought him, right? Is he even playing this week? I don't know. If he
don't
plays,
like the team, apparently.
If he does play though, Vin, and now if you really, because like now I think this is such an evenly matched type of game. Obviously, Derrick Henry definitely is a plus over fucking Najee Harris, even though Harris is having the best season of his career so far.
Which is not saying much.
Which is, but he's always been. He's been a 1,000-yard rusher. He's done little things. He's just not explosive, right? He doesn't like. He's not Derrick Henry. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, let's be real.
Aren't you waiting for Jalen Warren to take that job any day now? Though it's like
he's better than Warren this year. He's finally showing
the other guy. Yeah,
he's finally showing he's better. So like I said, it comes down to that. But I'll tell you this much: if Deontay Johnson is 100% a go, and he's fully practiced this entire week, this could be a huge revenge game for him. And in that case, I can definitely see Baltimore pulling it out and covering. So, like, there is still a little bit of an undecided. That's sort of like just a back one. If you really do listen to this podcast on Sunday at this segment, maybe that's something you consider that might sway your pick later on in the week.
All right. Well, moving on. In New York, the Jets, they're minus 3.5 against Indy.
Stupid ball.
Jets they got rid of their best coach on the team in Salah. Like, he was their best coach. I don't know what they're doing over there. Give me the Colts. Even though Joe Flacco sucks, but just give me the Colts anyway, because the Jets stink. They just
what is it, 4?
3.5.
3.5, 4, basically, whatever. Oh my God. I have to say the Jets fucking pull this out. They have to. Because if they know that they should fucking fire Aaron Rodgers and give Devontae Adams back. All right? Like, plain and simple. That's it.
I'm going to keep the trend of picking the Jets every single week. And I'm going to say the Jets are going to beat the Colts. The Jets' schedule is not that bad. They had a bunch of winnable games. Arizona's pesky, but Arizona's not that good. And it's like they're so bad that
it's not even like
screwed up. They screwed up an easy schedule here too. Like they screwed that up. Like they should be. Aaron Rodgers. Point your fingers at Aaron Rodgers. What a mess. And I hate Aaron Rodgers.
It would have been a little bit more reassuring, perhaps, if they could like make a crazy run similar to what we're thinking maybe Miami might make, right?
Miami could do so.
If they didn't, but they got blown out in Arizona.
I know.
It's not like they lost. They would have lost like 31-28.
Coaching.
They're like, oh, what a game. All right, cool.
Their
ex is king.
Coaching matters.
They're starting to talk smack about Sauce now. They're like, maybe Sauce isn't as good as we thought. Like, they've turned on everything.
It was Sauce and another player from the Jets have actually fired back against fans on social media. Basically, like, bro, it's a shit show. I might go with Mike here. Like, you're right. With this shit, like, because you know what happens? Here's the thing. When it comes to shit shows like this, where you got players firing back at fans and fucking, it's just losing it. And I forgot who it was, but one guy was basically even saying, like, football is my job. But if you keep fucking talking like you are, we can fucking take this somewhere else. Like, basically, call the guy out to fight him.
Ron Artest.
I
think they should, though. I think athletes should be able to fight fans.
But you mean I think fans should be athletes. Let's like really reflip that. Because if you ever watch that, you brought up Ron Artest. I heard that in the background. If you ever watch that fucking, I think it's It wasn't a 30 for 30. It's the other really big sports series, like The Truth or something like that, or like The Inside or The Real Truth. Or
It was
whatever.
on Netflix. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know which one I'm talking about on Netflix. I don't know why the actual title slipped my head, but anyhow, bro, the guy they interviewed on that one. They interviewed the guy that was fighting on the court, and that dude was still kind of like I was like, like, yo, he wasn't a punk or nothing. Like, yo, like he was kind of like, yeah, you sucker, you know, like fucking sucker punch me one side. Like, fuck them big dudes. Like they're fucking NBA players. Like the
Right.
shortest dude that's 6'3" is short. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, like if this guy was probably average height, like 5'10", 6 foot.
I'm on that.
Oh,
I'm on the
beautiful.
side of these. I'm on the side of these athletes. I think like at halftime, I think you should have a troll fight a football player that got offended on social media, and then everybody would see what happens to the troll, and they would be a lot nicer to these players. That's just my
my opinion is the opposite. I think. Have you watched the NBA players? They like rat people out. And
yeah. Oh, like
get these guys out of here. Oh, I think it's such a bitch move.
Like Westbrook. Westbrook,
Westbrook's the worst at it, and it's like, yo, you're professional athletes. Nobody's ever talked shit to you. You can't handle it. You can't
for real.
it out. You can't zone this shit out.
If you watch that HBO special, Winning Time, and you know some of that is true, but it's actors playing in it. Yo, remember how like the actor that was playing Magic Johnson was when he said he first walked into the fucking arena in the Boston Celtics garden or whatever? Bro, like they were fucking like talking about like fucking killing his family and shit. And the dude went in there and got the W and walked. It was like,
that's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
it is fucking insane, though.
But you know what? I get it. Is it ugly? Is it an ugly side of humanity? Of course it is. I'm not talking about that. That's another conversation. But on the professional side of things, you're an athlete. Shut the fuck up and do your job. Like, you're going to go and fight with the fans. You're going to go out there and be like, yo, don't talk about my dead mother or whatever. It's like the fans getting a rise out of you, and they're looking for a lawsuit. You just gave them one. You know what I mean?
Like, and not only that,
yeah,
bro,
that's true. That's true.
But that also used to be what like home field advantage meant. Because if not, what the fuck else is home field advantage?
I agree.
Yeah.
What else is it? Oh, I got a good night's sleep. I got to sleep in my bed instead of a hotel bed. Shit, half these hotels these guys stay in, their beds are probably just as nice as their fucking ones at home.
Good point.
Some might even be better. You know what I mean?
Listen. All right, so guys, listen. I mean, the fans like
Celebrity Deathmatch. We're setting it up.
The fans that listen to the show, obviously, Jules and Vinny is right. Like, make sure if you're a fan of your team, you have to say, I'm going to kill you and your whole family if you keep missing these buckets.
Murder you in your sleep.
So apparently that's acceptable.
I know a hotel you're at.
It's great.
Fucking general manager there.
All right, guys, we're going with the Colts. All right, moving on. In San Francisco, they're minus 6.5 against Seattle.
Ooh.
Division game. I mean, San Fran, they play these close games now. They're not all together. But I'm like Vin. I've been riding San Fran all year like he rides the Jets, so just give me San Fran.
They did beat Seattle by 12 earlier this year. So that was in Seattle, yeah. So I mean, Seattle hasn't looked good of late, bro. That's the problem. I mean, they literally have lost 5 out of 6 games. You want to talk about a team that's just kind of like gone off of the rafters and fallen down? It's Seattle. Like, I get it, they're coming off of a bye.
What's their record?
Maybe DK is healthy. They're 4-5. Maybe DK is healthy, but I'm going to put it out there. If there's no DK Metcalf, I say the 49ers cover. If DK plays, I would be more comfortable taking Seattle.
I agree with what Jules just said. If DK, I agree with everything he just said. I think San Fran wins if DK's not
if he's out, I think they cover. That's why I think the spread is where it is currently, and we would probably see it change later in the week depending which way things go.
And I honestly think that whole Debo thing and all that, it's going to be a turning point for that locker room in a positive way. I really think Shanahan they're going to be, I don't know if they'll win the division because you got pesky Arizona with the easiest schedule ever.
And then the Rams creeping up.
You got the Rams creeping. You got Seattle lingering around. It's not like the best. It's not the easiest division to win, but San Fran will get in the playoffs, and they will do their damage when they get there.
Yeah, they'll get in.
They're a seasoned team. They know what they're doing.
The coach, the veterans, they have the right coaches. They'll get them together. But I think Jules and Vinny is right. If DK Metcalf, gets assaulted by a fan and he's out this week, take San Francisco. All right, so moving on. Next game in Denver, they're -2.5 against Atlanta. Denver, man, they got robbed. Jules, put on your tinfoil hat because they got robbed. I had Denver on the money line. I felt that Kansas City was going to lose, and they should have lost. They called this bullshit illegal contact downfield, and they showed the video. There was no contact downfield. They're showing videos of
nothing. There was nothing.
There was nothing there.
I don't even think the receiver was like within a yard of the fucking.
There was nothing.
It was within a yard of a receiver.
It's like I was thinking about you, Jules. I was like, yo, this motherfucker had a field day.
Not only that, they had Pat Holmes fucking mic'd up, and he was basically fucking telling the ref to watch that call and why he didn't get the call and shit.
Yeah.
He's like, oh no, I'm sorry. He said, can you let me know when they're coming?
Yes.
I'm shit like that, bro. You fucking kidding me?
I was like, what?
Bro, I can't anymore. I fucking can't anymore with the fucking Chiefs. I fucking hate them with a passion. And I'm not even I don't root for the AFC even. And I can't stand the Chiefs.
We're going to be talking more about them, but we're focused on Atlanta, Denver right now, Jules. I'm taking Atlanta because they're underdogs. Give me Atlanta when they're underdogs. I don't care where they're playing.
Listen, Atlanta has been – look, first of all, I don't think – I'm not a huge fan of Mostert, right? Raheem Mostert, I believe, is the head coach there in Atlanta. I am not – right?
Morris. Isn't it Raheem Morris?
Raheem Morris. Sorry, Raheem Morris. Thank you. Mostert's the running back in Miami.
I think he's a painter, too.
I'm
mistaken.
I listen, there's been so many questionable calls that I've seen him make throughout this season. And dude, I think like I said, he should have never beat the Bucs on that Thursday night game. That was just a miracle that they pulled that one out. Yes, Cousins is playing great, but to go in the Mile High, Denver's defense is good. They're coming off of back-to-back losses. They still have a shot at the playoffs. They need that game. That's a must-win for Denver. And I think that's the reason why they're favored. And you know what? Bo Nix, honestly, man, keep sleeping on him. All the fucking hype on Jaden Daniels and Khalil Williams, those bullshit. Bo Nix is almost outplaying them. All right? The only difference with Bo Nix and Daniels is Daniels has like 3 or 4 less turnovers. That's fucking it. He's got solid. More touchdowns, more passing yards, and he's got fucking 2 less wins. Mm-hmm. All right, cool, whatever. They're playing on different teams in different leagues, different conferences, rather.
Yeah.
So, man, I like Denver. Give me Denver, man. They're cover. They're not going to win by a lot. It's going to be tight. Don't get me fucking wrong. It'll probably come down to the last possession. If this was in Atlanta, I'd feel a lot different.
Fun fact, the only 2 quarterbacks I liked this past draft was Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix. So, just saying.
I thought you didn't like Drake May at all?
Drake
May?
No, I didn't.
I like Drake May. I think Denver, what a nice surprise they've put in this year. But do I really see them slipping into the playoffs? It's a good defense. Bo Nix has been a nice little story. Like Jules just said, nobody's giving him the love. Jaden's eating it all up as Jaden's winning like all these games. But Bo Nix has put up some pretty good numbers, some solid numbers. And it's like shame on us Giant fans because we passed on Bo Nix, But I would take Bo Nix, a quarterback, a less than quarterback even, over the weapon that is a young Malik Neighbors. Just saying. I think Atlanta. Give me Atlanta. Atlanta is not battling for the playoffs. Atlanta's battling for the division, a division they can win. And I agree. Morris is not the best coach. I thought the hire was weird because they turned down Belichick. I thought they would have went Belichick there. But they didn't. And I think Atlanta is going to lose a lot of head scratchers. I think Cousins is still the man. I like Cousins. I think he's one of the better quarterbacks in this league. Will he win a big game in a big spot? Oh, he's got to break through that. There's a lot of guys who haven't won a big game in a big spot.
What, after 10 years? It sounds like he's a young quarterback that hasn't done it for the first 4 or 5 seasons of his career.
Dak Prescott
been in the league for like a decade and a half, bro.
Dak Prescott?
Who?
He's another one.
He's won a game, I think.
He's won 2. He's 2 for 5 in the playoffs.
Yeah, he sucks.
Pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But you know what? I don't know. Give me Atlanta. I think Atlanta is the team that is gonna do something this year. I don't see anything for Denver. Denver is a build year. It's a nice foundational year. It's cute, but this game is made for the Falcons to win, not for Denver.
I knew Atlanta's going to struggle against Saints in New Orleans last week. It just
Me
happened
too.
like Young Hoku, he missed that field goal. He took it on the chin, said the game was his fault. Otherwise, Atlanta probably wins that game. So yeah, I'm with you, Vin. I like Atlanta. I think they're just a better team than Denver. So all right, moving on. Ooh, in
Now
Buffalo.
hold on, real quick. I want to give this sort of like a little bio before we announce it because we know the last game because all we got left is Sunday night and Monday night at this point, right? Okay.
Well, no, we
Right?
got the 4:30 game. That's the best game out of the.
Yeah, I know. Other than this, though, there's only the Sunday night and the Monday night game, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay, so the Bills versus the Chiefs on Sunday will mark just the fifth game since 1970 merger, featuring two teams with 8+ wins prior to Week 11. So that's the kind of game that this is fucking shaping up to be right there. All right, like yeah,
So
I know.
So it's in Buffalo.
It's in Buffalo, like I said. So it's only been done 4 other times that teams have met up before Week 11 with 8+ wins. That's fucking crazy. That's fucking crazy.
That's a crazy
awesome.
stat.
Yeah.
But this is the game of the week. This is the game of the week on Sunday. I mean, 4:30 game or 4:25. But this is the game. I kind of like this. I like Buffalo money line, right? And I like buying a point and giving Kansas City +3.5. I think it comes down to that really close game. But I mean, it's right now it's 2.5 point spread. So for Buffalo, so I know everybody's going to load up on Buffalo. They're expecting Kansas City to lose, but you never know with these refs. Who knows what they're going to do with this game? So, but I'm going Bills because I want Kansas City to lose. I want that to happen. So give me the Bills.
So again, according to Game Picks as of today, the spread with the points, 79% of America is picking Kansas City.
Wow.
Money line, 56% is still picking Kansas City. Kansas City, like I said, is going to 3P. Kansas City, like I said, might go undefeated. If they win against Buffalo, I'm looking through this. They have in December on the 21st, they play the Texans at home, of course, right? So I can go either way. We'll see, but there's still a lot of games. And then they play at Pittsburgh on Christmas Day. It's Christmas fucking Day, dude. The fucking Chiefs are undefeated. The NFL is going to let them loose to fucking Pittsburgh on Christmas Day. I don't give a fuck where that game is being played, all right? So literally, this is probably the last fucking time that they might have a shot of losing. And then they finish the season with Denver. But prior to that, they have the Panthers, the Raiders. They play the Chargers again. That could be interesting. The Browns. I mean, how the fuck can they a team that's won back-to-back Super Bowls and they have those fucking teams left on their schedule? Beyond me, okay? Fucking beyond me. Like I said, to me, this would be the one to have them lose so that you could get a rematch in the playoffs, and then they'll probably end up beating them in the fucking playoffs and then go on to win their third Super Bowl in a row. Because if not, then you're going to have too many people believing in the fucking fix, like I said, all sorts of fix, and you're going to fucking have them buying in that fucking, this whole shit is set up that they want them to go fucking 20-0 and fucking 3P, all right? So with that said, I think this is the one time they fucking lose.
I think Kansas City does not end up the season undefeated. I don't even think they end the season with 1 loss. I think they end the season with 2, maybe even 3 losses. I think once that first loss hits, which is coming this Sunday against the Buffalo Bills, I think a couple, maybe they won't be trying to go for the perfect season and they'll lose. Maybe they'll even bench Mahomes a couple games at the end of the year. You know what I mean? I think they end up with a couple of losses for the year, and it starts with Buffalo. Buffalo is been waiting. Buffalo plays Kansas City very good in the regular season. They can't beat them in the playoffs, but they play them really good. They're home. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes the other way, if somehow Mahomes pulls it out and the refs help out, because that's kind of like been the theme, and everybody's jumping on that. I would really love for the NFL to kind of take some reins here. Don't mess this game up with the refs. Like all eyes are going to be watching. Like, just let this game play itself out. If Kansas City win, let them win. But don't, let the refs stay the heck out of it with their ghost calls or their bogus calls or they pick up the flag or, Monday morning quarterback, everybody on ESPN and Fox and everybody's going to be watching, they should have made this call. They should have made that call. There's a hold here. Kansas City's been doing this every year now for their dynasty run. and they are the darlings. But I don't know. I just
get
hope
away
this
with
game-
murder.
Yeah, for the sake of the
Get away with
NFL,
everything.
for this game, for the sake of the NFL, for this game here, like because they got so many people starting to question the theories that are going on with them. Yo, put that to bed. Like, just call a clean game. I would hope Buffalo wins because I'm also like Kansas City doesn't bother me, but I'm sick of them. So I don't whether they win or lose, I don't care. Mahomes doesn't bother me. Kelsey bothers me, but I don't know.
Andy
Go
Reid's
Buffalo.
always bothered me.
What?
Andy Reid's always bothered me.
Andy Reid has got my respect though. As much as I
Yeah, right.
like the
It's fine. You
Philly,
can respect him. You don't have to like him, right?
Baruski.
yeah.
Baruski. Baruski.
Yo, when they
Tell him to go eat his fucking chicken nuggets.
when they got rid of that dude in Philly, I was like, that's the dude we need. I remember Giant fans would look at me like I was crazy. I'm like, Andy Reid's a good coach. He took Donovan McNabb to the Super Bowl. That dude's a good coach.
And almost beat Brady.
And almost beat Brady.
They lost by 7. Well, they lost by like less than 7 in that game.
That was I didn't like that Super Bowl. 2 teams I hated. I hated
I
both.
know. That was miserable.
So you're riding with Buffalo, Ben?
Yeah, Buffalo all day. All day.
Oh,
baby.
no.
Okay, so listen. If there's some bullshit ghost calls going in that game, I think me and Vin will hear it first because Jules will text us, and so we'll
Jules
hear
will
that
let us
first.
know.
So we'll be the first to know. All right, moving on. Sunday night game: Chargers in LA. They're -1.5 against the Bengals. Ooh,
Yeah.
man, this
I
game
know.
I want to take the Chargers so bad, but I got a feeling Cincinnati's going to win that game.
I know. I'm with you on that, too. It's like, oh, God, everything stacks up for fucking the Chargers to win. But then at the same time, it's that Sunday night game. So it doesn't really matter where they play. So there's none of that East Coast, West Coast bullshit or anything. The Bengals need it more. They could right be back in the mix. Oh, God, I hate this game because I've been picking the Chargers every week. It's like, I think I go Bengals, though. I get what you're saying. I could see it. I could see where they just have that kind of firepower where they'll just overwhelm fucking the Chargers defense, and it'll put the Chargers in a position where they're not going to catch up.
I'm going to complete the trifecta and say the Bengals as well. As much as I like the Chargers, and they're going places this year, whereas I don't think the Bengals are. Bengals had, like I said at the beginning of the year, they have a lot of undercurrent issues, contract issues. But, yo, not for nothing, Joe Burrow's been balling. Joe Burrow, I was starting to raise an eyebrow. I'm like, yo, what's Joe Burrow done since his Super Bowl run? Like, he's done a lot of nothing, a lot of injury, a lot of like, you know what I mean? And their window pretty much is closed after this year because now they're going to have to start paying guys. They're probably going to lose T. Higgins. Jamar's going to get paid berserko money. I don't like what Jamar said. He was like, you know, I wanted the ball at the end. Like, he should have threw it to me. I hate that me type shit. You know I don't like any of that type of stuff.
That's that culture.
That's that LSU culture, like you said last week. But Burrow's been playing really well. I think Burrow plays up for games like this. Burrow is going to show that he's better than Herbert. You know what I mean? And again, the coaching is pretty good on both sides.
Yep.
I think that it's really good for the Chargers. I think the Chargers like to, you know, play keep away. They want to run the ball with Dobbins, and they want to keep their defense off the field and be efficient.
Which they might be able to do.
Which they could, because Cincinnati has been getting pushed around their defense. You know,
defense has gotten better, has improved week to week.
Right. But Cincinnati's that team that if they can get to 30 points, it's going to be tough for maybe even the Chargers to compete with. You know what I mean? Can the Chargers go? Can Herbert? This game is on Herbert now. Like, you can run all you want all year, Chargers, because that's what Harbaugh does. But can Herbert, like, does he have that confidence again because he's had Anthony Lynn as his coach for the past, like, 3 years or whatever? Can he go toe-to-toe with Burrow? Like, this is a great quarterback duel. It's a great quarterback matchup. And we thought what the Ravens and Pittsburgh was going to give us, that's not a quarterback matchup. We all know Lamar is way better. That's more of, like, toe-to-toe, the units. You were splitting units before, Jules. Whereas this game, I think it comes down to which quarterback is going to show up for his team. And I think it's going to be Burrow. On this particular Sunday, Burrow's going to keep Cincinnati in the mix.
Especially, I think Higgins is playing. That to me is like the
That's
difference.
big. Yeah, it's huge.
Huge.
If Higgins doesn't play, they could play a keep away game, and then it could get interesting over there. But if Higgins plays, I think they're just going to be able to outmatch that defense at some point and get the edge, in my opinion.
All right. Moving on. This is my survivor pick. Houston is -7.5 in Dallas. Basically, it's a Texas home game, and Dallas just stinks. They just look like they quit. Texans are due for a win. They lost like a close game.
They lost back-to-back
close games. And hey, listen, give me Houston and give me them big all day.
I mean, the spread's a little high for me, but I think Nico Collins, he's already been cleared for practice, so he's practicing this week.
Is he playing? Is he going to play?
Like everything is saying that he's playing. So that's the difference maker for me there. With him playing and everybody else healthy, Mexi's been playing pretty good in the absence of Diggs and fucking Nico. Tank Dell is better when one of those guys is on the field because it frees him up. Mixon's been playing great all year. Stroud's had a few whatever. He's had a couple of bumpy games here and there, but pretty solid throughout. Yeah, I mean, Dallas looks like they're lost, but the spread does scare me a little. The spread scares me a little, but I still would lean towards Houston at this point.
I agree with you. I think Dallas is reeling right now. It's a mess. You have a lame duck coach. All those comments about the curtains and CD Lamb talking. I think Dak went to I don't know how many doctors till they finally said, "Dude, shut it down for the year. You're done." I think it's a total disarray in Dallas. We never found out why Zeke had to stay home on a couple weeks ago. Did you guys find out? Oh, who knows what that guy did? They didn't even bring him.
Jerry Jones knows.
He missed meetings. That was it.
So I think Micah Parsons won't shut the fuck up because he keeps sucking off Saquon and he wants to be in Philly so bad. It's like ridiculous. Does Micah get paid this year?
No, I think he
after next, right?
Like wasn't he
pick up the option?
Definitely extended. So I don't know. I mean. Listen, first of all, don't even get me started on that because that's a whole podcast for another day. Because seriously, they're gonna fucking get Parsons too. Like, what else does Philly fucking need? Why don't they just fucking put like fucking the best tight end in football over there too, and then give him another pass?
I was just saying,
just give them everybody so they have a all-star team, and it's gonna take an all-star team.
Give me Houston, CJ Stroud, big game, especially Nico Collins comes back.
Come on, bro. Like
Nico Collins, 1 touchdown. Mixon, 2 touchdowns. They're gonna route them, put up 35 on these Dallas Cowgirls. Let's go, Houston.
Yep, my survivor pick right there. It's between them and the Dolphins. But I'm gotta roll with Houston.
I got the Lions. Maybe I go Lions.
Lions. All.
I wish I could take them. You
had the Lions. That's who you're picking. I picked the stupid Bears last week because I wanted to use the Lions this week. Okay.
Can't look far ahead, bro. You gotta survive.
God damn it.
I had the Chargers last week.
That was a good one. Didn't start off that great, but
we're down to 7 people. We're down to 7 people in the Murphys one.
Fuck that, man.
Good luck.
I'm right there, man. I'm right there.
All right, that's a wrap.
Well, I'm wrapping this bitch up and fucking you know that. Look, I'm gonna say this right now. All you Giants fans were off this week, right? So, go do some things during the day. Enjoy Sunday afternoon. It might be nice out wherever you live, go enjoy a little. But make sure you come home at 4:30 to watch that fucking football game. All right, it's only the 5th time it's happening in fucking since 1970. All right, enjoy it and keep your fucking tinfoil hats on because I don't want to fucking have to come on this fucking podcast for the next episode and be like sports are fixed because I promise you that there's a major call in Buffalo on Sunday. I will not be wearing a fucking regular baseball cap come on fucking next week's podcast, all right? So all that said, be safe, enjoy the games. Good week of football ahead. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Go Blue.